I get the same messages over and over again. I read, I watch, I study, but I'm scared to take the first step. And I completely understand because I've been there, worried I'd mess up, afraid to enter wrongly, overwhelmed by it all. That's why today I want to show you the very strategy I started with. Yes, it's simple, but it works in most market conditions, whether it's trading or flat. I didn't build it from textbooks. I built it from my mistakes, my trades, my setbacks. Watch till the end. We're going to clear up your chart and your mindset. Let's go. Today, we are going to analyze the charts with you again on the platform. Let's first of all customize our workspace to make us as comfortable as possible. Let's make a time frame of 5 seconds. Next, I add the MACD indicator, whose settings I set by default, and click Save. Then I go to the right side of the screen where I put the expiration time. I set it to 15 seconds. Everything is ready for convenient and high quality work. Here we see a reversal movement on the indicator and on the chart. I open a position down and wait for the expiration time. Great! I will now explain this situation. We see an upward movement which was accompanied by a negative crossing of the instrument, after which a downward movement should follow. There is a downward slope, a red histogram, and so the upward movement of the line. The situation is quite understandable. When I started, I'd stay up all night staring at charts, overthinking, second guessing, and doing nothing. That's when I created my own principle: less chaos, more structure. That blueprint became the core of my daily sessions. Every day, I share with my community where to enter, why, how to manage the trade. And I watch people build real confidence. You can try it too. I'm moving on. We see a situation similar to the previous one. Because of this, I'll repeat the same position on the downside and wait for the expiration time. While I'm waiting for the expiration time, I want to ask you, what tools and assistants do you use? What are the ones that help you the most? Please write in the comments. I'll be very interested in reading, and maybe any of the time I'll use them in the next video. Great! The exact same movement occurred here as on the previous occasion. There was an upward movement, after which the instrument indicated a reversal, and this reversal successfully took place in reversal in several waves. We caught a corrective move, and that's good enough for us. Sometimes I can't even keep up with the replies and my inbox explodes. To me, that's the best sign that this method works, because it's structured and repeatable. You're not relying on luck, you're learning to see the market yourself. Sometimes all it takes is trying. I'm moving on. We see a downward movement, but there are urges to grow. Because of this, I will open a position up and wait for the expiry time. It's a tricky situation, but I hope it succeeds. Alright folks, why am I saying that this was a risky situation? Because there is a global downward movement going on here. In this case, the 2 is pointing downward, but here is a very important point. At this point, the green line has begun to cross the red line from the bottom to the top, and this indicates potential growth. Because of this, I opened a position on the upside. But why was this a risky situation? Because in this situation, the traffic was just sideways and it's not easy to get burned on it. You have to be careful and analyze such moments carefully. Honestly, I pieced this method together bit by bit. Some intuition, a lot of trial and error, advice from people ahead of me. And then one day I realized this needs to be shared. Now I share it with my community so they can grow faster and easier than I did. Check it out if you're curious. Moving on, at the beginning of the upward movement, I open a position up for the continuation of the upward movement and wait for the expiry time. We see the beginning of an upward movement on the indicator, which is accompanied by the price chart. According to this trend, I open a position on the upside and successfully fixed it. Great result. I'm moving on here. I see a global downtrend that is accompanied by instrument movement. Because of this, I open a position down for the continuation of the downward movement, and I'm waiting to see what happens. Whoa, great position, folks. we saw a strong downward movement, which may even continue, but we don't care about that anymore. We caught the downward movement that the indicator was also talking about. No buyer power was detected here. Because of that, the position was opened on the downside. And we can see further movement, which I also mentioned. So what do you think of the strategy, friends? I know how it feels to be stuck. Too much info, not enough clarity. But the system I just showed you changed that for me and for so many others walking the same path. Because the key isn't knowing everything, it's learning how to use the right tools. If you want to give it a try, you're more than welcome. New faces are always welcome in the community. See you in the next video.